Michael from Culture Talk and Tours, and I'm here today in Toronto, Canada, and we are going to talk about one of the Canadian foods, desserts, that's famous in Canada. It's called butter tarts. So we have a few examples of butter tarts here in front of me, and I'll give you some facts about butter tarts. So they are made with butter, sugar, maple syrup sometimes, and egg. It's usually in English Canadian provinces where butter tarts are more popular. It is similar to the French Canadian sugar pie, tarte au sucre, which would be a larger pie and often was made with brown sugar or maple syrup. The base of the butter tart is similar to the American pecan pie without the pecans. But you can have butter tarts with pecans or with raisins. I like a plain butter tart, so that's what we're going to try. Now, butter tarts were first published, the recipe, in Barrie, Ontario in 1900, and the recipe was published in the Women's Auxiliary of the Royal Victoria Hospital, and the person that submitted the recipe was Miss Mary Ethel McLeod. So she submitted the recipe to this cookbook in 1900. And then the next published butter tart recipe was in 1915, again in a Canadian pie cookbook. So we have 3 brands of butter tarts here. You can see right here it says made in Canada. Now we are going to try them, and we're going to discuss the differences with these 3 brands of Canadian butter tarts. So I'm going to get them ready, and then we're going to try them. Now I have the 3 kinds of butter tarts here. The first is called Tart Boss, and I bought that at a farmer's market in Oakville, Ontario. So we're going to cut into this, and then we'll have a look at the inside. You can see the crust, you can see the filling there. So this is a new one. I haven't tried this brand before, but it looks very good. And then the next one is Baxter's, which I got at a supermarket. This is seeming to be a bit more gooey. So I was learning that sometimes they put cornstarch in it if it's too runny. So this is called Baxter's. And then this third brand is Grandmother's Bake Shop. And then this one can be purchased, or could be purchased, at Costco. I'm not sure if it still is, but you can see there's a nice jelly in there, and it's got a nice little kind of film of yummy brown sugar on the top. Okay, so first is Tart Boss. So let's try this one. I never use a fork with it, but we're gonna do it now. The crust seems nice and flaky, and it looks nice and gooey. Let's have a taste. This is very good, because you can see on the top, this is kind of like got a crispy, crunchy, like a granulated sugar on the top there. So that's quite good. And like I said before, you can have butter tarts with raisins. You can have butter tarts with pecan. Some are maple. I've even seen coconut ones before. Now we're going to try these Baxter one, and this is more of like a homemade crust, and it's a bit more jelly-like, which is also very yummy. So it's already sticky and gooey. So let's try this one. A nice simple. That is very good. And this is more like a pie crust, whereas this one is more like a cookie almost, but it has the flaky pie crust, and then this is just so gooey. It would be perfect with a cup of tea. Now the third one, this is Grandmother's Bake Shop. These ones are quite big, and you can see there's a lot of butter tart there. These are the ones that we usually get, and you can see it's made in Canada. And these ones are nice because they're individually wrapped, so you could put them in your lunch or something, whereas these ones, once you open them, you kind of have to have them. Now let's try this one. I know it's good because I always get this brand. And it's kind of in between. It's not so jelly as this one, but it's not as stiff as that one. Let's try this one. Very good. Now, this one, the crust is in between these two. So it's more flaky than this cookie one. But I just love how deep and how much of the butter tart filling you get with this one. So we only have 3 brands here. We could, if we went to other supermarkets, we could find, because almost every supermarket in Canada has their own butter tart that they're making at their supermarket. So like I said, this was from a farmer's market. This is Baxter's from a supermarket. And this is Grandmother's Bake Shop, also from a supermarket. This is probably the most popular one because, like I said, it is available at Costco, Canada. So if I had to pick out of the 3, I think I would be going with Grandmother's for number 1 because I love how deep it is. And it has like almost like a little bit of granulated sugar at the bottom. Number 2, I'd have to go with Baxter's because I love the flaky pastry. And number 3 would be Tart Boss. But again, they're all very good. So like a 10, a 9.9, and a 9.8. Like they're all very good. So if you do come to Canada and you're looking for a sweet treat, something to try a butter tart. And like I said, you can have, if you don't want to do the plain ones, you can do with raisin, pecans, coconut, maple, lots of different flavors, but it's always good to start with the plain ones. So a Canadian treat is the butter tart, and we hope to try other things while I'm here in Canada, and I will see you on the next episode.